Good afternoon, gamers, and welcome to a new series that I'm starting up. This is called Kerbal Space Program Origins. And basically here I'm going to be starting a space company type thing for Kerbal Space Programs, but my plan is to not, I'm going to slowly ease into it, and obviously I'm not going straight into manned ships all the way to the other end of the universe. One, I'm not that good, and two, that's just crazy to start. So here I have a passenger jet. As you've seen, I've got the engines on the tail fin. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to put enough weight on the front so that, because right now it's when it loads it just flips backwards. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put enough weight on the front so that it doesn't do that, but I'm trying to do it so that it looks visually concise with the rest of the plane. I don't want anything crazy as I pull out a big container like that. I didn't know how big it was at the time. I thought it was the size as those structural fuselages. Now that I think about it now, obviously I probably could have got away with just moving the wheels back and changing them up slightly. But that's hindsight. I'll probably revisit this design, try and get those rear engines there. Give that another go now that I had this a little bit of knowledge in my head. Whoops. But yeah, this is going to be a new series, so I'm going to slowly start my way. Like here I've got this jet plane that's going to just fly around, basically do a test flight. Then I'm probably going to do a little bit more into the jet planes, try and get farther, smaller maybe, bigger maybe. Definitely bigger. I definitely want to go bigger. 4-engine planes. I'm not going to be using too many mods. I do have Kerbal Engineer here, but the only reason that's up right now is because of a part that I'm just using for basically a aesthetic look really right now. I'll show you more on that later. Here I've realized that there's nothing I can really do. Well, I thought that there was nothing I could really do. As I said, I probably could have moved the wheels back and it would have been good. But now I'm putting the engines back on the wing, and now that I don't have to try... The wings were so far back because I needed the center of lift close to the center of mass. If you don't know anything about flight, basically your center of lift and your center of mass your center of mass has to be pretty close together, otherwise things just go all crazy and loop-de-loops and stuff. So here's the test, and it still decides to flip a little. So you can see me looking around trying to see why. To me it's pretty simple now as it's post-recording. Yeah, this series will be commentary, just because I'm probably going to do like 4 or 5 hours worth of videos, cut it down into about the half. I really don't like doing videos longer than a half hour for YouTube, so yeah, I'm going to cut them down into the half hour, and then I can post-edit, add all my comments and ideas then. And here's the part that I'm using. It looks like a nice little black box type thing. That's basically it. That's why I had the Kerbal Engineer on there. Okay, so I moved the wings back. I don't know what I'm doing. Like I said early, I should have just moved the wheels back and it would have been fine. But we're going to test this. And before I even started recording, I did about a half hour to an hour worth of playing around. Yeah, I can see that my thing's moving just by moving that, and I thought maybe I could actually get somewhere doing that. But yeah, I spent like half hour to an hour actually playing around, so I'm not the best KSP player. I'm not great in math, I'm not great in rocketry or anything. And first test flight, and it crashed. The engines pretty much just blew off. I see that my brake lights are still on. They're red, because when they're off they're green. So I thought maybe it's because, you know, I left my brakes on, so instead of correcting anything, I'm just gonna go jump into a new flight and try getting the brakes being on. I start them on usually just because you roll a bit, but you kind of see that my wheels are bending and bumping. I don't think I noticed it right away because I was too busy trying to counter all the crazy spinning that apparently decided to happen on that one. So I'm going for a third little test run. Oh, you can already see, like I can see from here it already looks crooked. They don't line up the greatest, so but I decided to give it a test. Make sure my brakes are. And now I can clearly see that my wheels are bucking again. And then it's So it's back to the space plane hangar. And back to redesigning that part of the ship, the plane. So I figured maybe it's because they weren't sitting right on there, because if you looked on one there was a slight bit of a gap. It still looks like it. The meshes aren't that perfect. It's still an alpha game, guys, so I don't expect it to be perfect. It still looks like they're pretty bad, like, whoa, hello, and Control Z to undo. And sometimes you end up grabbing like the whole thing and it's just insanely crazy. The problem is you need to get into the underview to be able to put it on the bottom of that, but you don't get the best visual view on it. So I basically, like, it's a trade-off. You have to kind of do it in parts. Now I'm moving the wheels a bit, trying to get them a little bit more spread apart, thinking maybe that will help solve the problem. So let's do another test flight. Like I say, I'm not the greatest engineer or anything. I don't have any qualifications anywhere, so a lot of what I do in Kerbal Space Program is trial and error, and slowly fixing my things wrong. See that my wheels are bucking yet again. This time, lose an engine. Good job this doesn't cost me anything. Can you imagine how many of these parts how much money I would have gone through in parts and stuff and paint. And as I look again, it looks off again. So I'm trying to see if I can get it back on. Now I look at it in editing, those engines are severely torqued. They're like twisted quite a bit. I don't know why. I know I do. Spoilers, hey. There goes the wheels again. And the black box survives, so we will gather the information from it, plus the cameras that are trained on the runway. See, that's why I put the black box on there. And I see the wheels still spinning, so I decide to just apply the brakes and stop it. You know, I want to be safe. And I tap the brakes a few times just to see if maybe it gets spinning again. Wasn't sure. Then there you see it. Now that I've noticed that those engines were a little torqued there. So I'm straightening them up, and I get it straightened up, and I realize I forgot to put symmetry mode on. Congratulations to me. And apparently I didn't realize it right away. Maybe I did. So now I get to fight to try and get it to snap on, and the rotation keys sometimes takes me a while to figure it out. It looks good, right? Snap it in. Oh, maybe not. I think here I'm playing around with the thrust there, and go to take a look, and not hanging on to anything. I don't know what happened, but it's like the collision mess. Yeah, I freak out a little bit. It looks like the collision mesh. The collision mesh is a mess or something. I don't know what's wrong with it, so I try a couple of times to see if I can get it clipping back onto that wing, but no, it just wants to hang, and I don't want to test it because I just don't want the engines to say, hey, we're not holding on to anything, and drop off. We all know how picky Kerbal Space Program could be, and here's me testing to see like if any part of the wing surface actually will act as, or if it's all. Because it could be the wing. Maybe like there's just a small glitch on the wing, causing the mesh to temporarily be thrown off. So I don't know why I scrapped the things, but I scrapped the, or maybe I thought maybe it was the parts. Now I'm gonna try re-adding it, and I'm not using the exact same part. I keep switching between those two, the hard points and the structural thing, and then I say screw it, and it's probably the wing. So now I look into a new wing, and that looks nice and big in that picture, does it not? Yeah, it's not. It looks nice and big, but it ends up not being. See, this one looks a lot smaller in the picture than it really is. So, but I like this. Look at this new wing a little bit better. Trying to pick up that piece. I don't know what I was. Oh, I was trying to do end wheels here, but like I say, I still don't even. I still don't even know the rotation off by heart. I just keep yawning. I'm so tired. That's why my videos haven't been coming as often as I really want to do them. I work a lot, and I come home, and the want to game, the want to sit down, like even to basically just game for myself, not to make videos. The want for gaming is just, it's not there right now. So I come home, I sit down, and I basically eat and I go to sleep a lot of the time. So hopefully I can start getting back into this video making groove and gaming groove. I am working on it. Also looking into a new channel. Me and a couple of friends, we're going to be getting together, starting up a gaming studio. So basically it won't be just me posting videos. I know I've talked about this in the past, but we're definitely getting closer to getting that going. So I'm going to start a new channel. Still haven't finished the name. We're going to still go through logo designs. I'm basically trying to work a schedule. There's a few pieces of equipment I need to save up for. I want to get a Hauppauge for the PS3. I'm going to be getting a PS4 shortly, so I'll also be recording off the PS4. I hear that the PS4 won't have HDCP protection on games. That would be nice. That way, with the Hauppauge, I can go straight HDMI to HDMI, HDMI in to HDMI out, rather than having to component in to HDMI out. That's because that would just create too much problems. But for the PS3, I guess I'll have to do it because of that HDCP. And see here, you can see me trying to put on the engines here. Like I say, I'm not a genius, I'm not a whiz at Kerbal Space Program, so I'm not the fastest at picking stuff like this up. And as you see, I've got the gray mounting support onto the white hardpoint. Exactly how it did last time where it was buckling. We'll see how that goes later on. Here I'm just looking at the engines here. Basically see, do I need the advanced? Is there much of a difference between the advanced and the basic? And then I realized, because it's just beginners, this is the first thing, we're probably only going to stick with an advanced, the basic jet engine. It's low and slow, basically flying. We're not going high, like high altitude. We're not working on a space plane here yet. Yeah, if you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see out of my next couple of episodes, because by the time I post this, I could be already working on the next episode, or basically so on with any episodes down the thing. By the time you see them, I might already be working on what the next episode is, so it'll be a couple of episodes after you suggest it. Okay, so we got this design. Definitely interesting looking design. You can already see those wheels starting to buckle. But I decided, let's give it a test. Maybe it will straighten itself out, and it kind of overdoes it and bends too far out, and we lose the engines again. So, yeah. I got two little communication probes on there, just kind of like, you know, you got your radar and your transponder. But I realized that, I hope I realized at this point, that it's the one on top of the two on top of each other, basically, that aren't working well. Yep, I do, because this is where I try and use just that, and then I realize, hey, that's gonna look weird, and also it won't be low enough to clear the engines, so maybe why don't we put it on the engines? That's always a logical, safe place to put a gear, is on the engines. And take a look, make sure, see it, but they're not the right height. Now the nose would dip when it loads, because the engines will be higher and the nose will be lower, so it will dip down. So basically I take the exact same off the nose there, I move it back a bit, get it nice and lined up, save the model just in case it works and there was a problem, and let's give this test flight a go. So turn on the landing lights, put the brakes on to stop me from rolling unnecessarily. Both engines fired up. Has the want to flip itself. So I power down, hopefully the low power will stop pushing me, thrusting me up, and trying all sorts of maneuvers to try and just get me onto a normal flight. It might look like a spin, actually. Something like that. At that speeds, I believe it probably would be a stall. But I get her slightly under control. Yeah, there we go. Control is becoming mine again. Slightly nose down just to pick up the speed. Get the lift, gotta get the lift. And then I realize I'm gonna need a little bit more engine power. This is where I start realizing maybe I don't need 100% engine throttle. SAS on, help myself a little bit. But we've got stable, steady flight. We have a successful plane here, guys. And a nice little loop of celebratory congratulations. Jebediah Carmen just there, excited at this new prospect that the Kerbals have. They've mastered flight. Now the stars is just a hop, skip, and a stone throw away for them. Will it be though? How many Kerbals are going to risk their lives in these simulations? It's a simulator simulating simulations. Alright, my Bandicam stopped recording and I forgot about it, but all I did was a small loop. I didn't do anything crazy, otherwise I would have definitely noticed too. And now I'm bringing it in for the landing of its maiden voyage. This is version 1 of our passenger plane. We will be able to start ferrying Kerbals around the planet very soon after these become produced. A little rough landing there, but it seems like everything was fine. Just trying to keep on the runway and braking gently, not wanting to do too much at once because I don't want to do anything crazy. But there we go. There's our first successful landing. this has been Kerbal Space Program Origins. Thanks for watching, and like I say, comments down below of what you want to see. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.